Hello everyone, welcome to this class on non-destructive testing. So in the upcoming video, actually the video emphasizes on a particular summary. That is, we have learned the introduction to NDT and visual inspection in the previous videos. So what I intend here is actually to give a summary of what we have studied up to this point. Now, as discussed in our introduction class, we discussed about NDT, the comparisons, scope of NDT, the difficulties placed, and the difficulties encountered, the future progress, the economic aspects, and we started with visual inspection. And I believe we completed visual inspection. So again, as mentioned before. We're going to go through a summary, right? Are we introducing a summary? We're going to summarize whatever we have studied up now. Now, initially we started discussing with the importance of testing, why we test materials, to evaluate properties qualitatively and quantitatively, to find out whether there are defects, to check the chemical composition, prevent failure, and to find the suitability of a material for a particular application. Then we went on to discuss different material properties. We had different material mechanical properties such as density, strength, hardness, ductility, toughness, etc. Chemical properties like reactivity, combustibility, thermal properties like melting point and thermal conductivity. We discussed different electrical properties, optical properties, and physical properties. So we need to find all these properties, and based on these properties, we'll decide whether to use a product for a particular application. Now, we also discussed the difference between destructive as well as non-destructive testing. As mentioned before, destructive testing involves breaking down a product, that is, the product is tested. Then once it is tested, the properties can be evaluated, but the material will be broken down. Whereas in non-destructive testing, we take a product and we perform tests on it to find defects at all, but the material is not broken, it can be reused again. Whereas in destructive testing, once the testing is done, the material cannot be used. We discussed different points between destructive and non-destructive testing. So, and I would also like to mention that this question has been repeatedly asked in your university examinations. That is, to differentiate between destructive as well as non-destructive testing. And we have different testing methods also. In destructive test, there is a tensile test. You've done all these experiments: tensile test, compression test, shear test, hardness test, impact test, and fatigue test is there, creep test is there, bending is there, torsion test is there. In all of these testing methods, the specimen is broken and cannot be used again for a particular application. Whereas in non-destructive testing, there are different methods like visual inspection, magnetic particle testing, eddy current testing, laser testing, leak testing, radiographic testing, liquid penetrant testing, thermography, ultrasonic testing, etc. And all these testing methods in non-destructive testing, once that test is conducted on a particular specimen, it can again be reused. That's the difference. Now, we also discussed the application areas of NDT. It's used in power plant inspection, wire rope inspection, storage tank inspection, aircraft inspection, jet engine inspections, bridge inspection, pipeline inspection. So the scope for NDT and an NDT engineer is very, very vast, because all these industries employs non-destructive testing engineers. Now, we also discussed the main types of NDT, non-destructive testing methods that we're going to study in the subject: visual inspection, liquid penetrant testing, magnetic particle testing, eddy current testing, radiography, as well as ultrasonic testing. Now, also in our previous classes, we discussed visual examination, right? It's the one of the most primary and important methods in non-destructive testing. It's a very, very common method, right? It can be used to detect gross surface defects that occurs within a material. The main principle of visual examination, as we discussed, is actually the illumination of a specimen. That is, specimen is illuminated with proper lighting, and with eyesight or other optical methods, we can find out whether there are surface defects within the material. Now, as also discussed, visual examination is acting as a secondary inspection method, or it is a supportive or complementary method to other NDT methods. So other primary NDT methods, as discussed in the previous slide, are mainly used. Visual inspection just supports all of them. That is the main function. Now, the most valuable NDT tool, as you know, is the human eye. But now currently, computerized methods are also being used. The equipments are very simple as well as portable. The surface of the test specimen should be cleaned before inspection. We can inspect it with the naked eye, or we can use optical aids such as mirrors, magnifying glasses, or even video cameras. Now, we also discussed the various factors that can affect visual inspection. There are various environmental factors such as atmosphere, cleanliness, humidity and temperature, safety, psychological factors of engineers that are involved in visual inspection like their physical comfort, health, mental attitude, fatigue, and surface conditions of the material that is being tested, cleanliness, color, texture, and the physical conditions of the specimen also is there, that is specimen condition, size, shape, temperature, etc. Now we also discussed various applications as well as limitation. The application is that visual examination helps in the inspection of plant components for leakage, misalignment in mating parts, corrosion, erosion, surface cracks, fractures, etc., and minute discontinuities on parts like pumps, compressors. And their limitation comes because they can only can be used to find out the defects that occur in the surface and cannot be used in places where there is a very heavy exposure of light, very bright exposure, or if there are heavy reflections are being used, or where in places where the illumination is not proper, and also the equipments cannot be exposed to hazardous working conditions. Now, we also discussed that there are two types of visual inspection. One with the help of the where is it? Yes, one with the help of the naked eye, that is known as unaided visual inspection or direct visual inspection. The second one is using aided visual inspection, that is we use different optical aids in order to find out the defects. They are called indirect visual inspection as well as aided visual inspection. We also discussed the various lighting sources that are being used: incandescent lamp, fluorescent lamp, flash lamp, as well as discharge lamp. All the characteristics and the workings were discussed. And also we discussed different special lighting methods that are being used: front lighting, back lighting, that is the object and the aid, how is it being placed, structure lighting, strobe lighting, ultraviolet lighting, image sensors, etc. Now also we discussed different optical aids that are used. This is also an important a question that's being asked in your university examination, that is to explain the different aids that are being used in visual inspection. We discussed magnifying mirrors, magnifying lens, microscope, boroscope, flexible fiber optic boroscopes, telescope, holography, and computer enhanced systems. We also discussed what are the features of magnifying mirrors, what are the features of magnifying glass, then the microscope, the optical microscopes that are being used. We also determine what is the refractive index. We also introduce what is refractive index, the ability with which a substance can slow down the speed of light, right? Then we went on to the function of a boroscope, right? What is a boroscope? Boroscope is actually used where it is impossible to access certain spaces, right? For example, long tunnels and long pipelines, you cannot find, or all these areas are inaccessible to the human eye. There we have to use boroscope. It's sort of like an endoscope. And also we discuss the construction, and also we discuss what are fibroscopes. They are similar to endoscope, they're similar to your the boroscopes, except that they use coherent fiber bundles are used, and the construction of the fibroscope was also discussed. Now the most important one is the computer enhanced visual system. In computer enhanced visual system, we use a computer and a software for data analysis. The system makes use of a video camera for data collection, and those photos are analyzed by computer softwares. The video camera captures the image of the object that is used for testing, that is sent to a computer via frame grabber card for processing. The software in the computer analyzes the image and determines whether there are defects or not, and whether the object passes or fails the test. This is the computer enhanced visual system. This is the computer enhanced visual system that is being used. As discussed, you have a camera, we get an optical image that is sent through to the software in the computer, where it is digitized, the image processing is done, and using the software we extract information and we decide whether the product is having the prerequisite for their further applications or not. And we also discuss the advantages and disadvantages associated with computer enhanced systems. The advantages being easily adaptable to inspect different products, can be reprogrammed and used for different sizes or shapes, and does not get tired, or since it is automated, it can work continuously, maintains consistency of the inspection, that means high accuracy, and has an average speed that is faster than that of a human being. So you can conduct more tests, or you can say more objects can be tested in a shorter period of time. And there are certain disadvantages also. The lighting conditions must be well designed and according to the specification and should be implemented properly. The software should be carefully selected with fixed parameters. The tolerance of the product, the intolerance, that is was the computer is involved, so it will fix a high level of accuracy and tolerance. Only those products that adhere to these levels will only pass the test. Otherwise, it is even rejected if it even does not reach that particular level of accuracy, and also does not emulate or does not have the experience of a human inspection, and has no real intelligence. It only follows certain rules or guidelines. So in the up to the previous class we discussed all these things, that is the NDT, what is NDT, how is it different from destructive testing methods, and the scope, the application, and then we discussed the first method, the visual method, and we finished up to the computer enhanced visual system. So after your vacations we'll be starting with the second method, that is the liquid penetrant testing method or dye penetrant testing method. So we are coming to the end of this lecture. So the next class we'll be dealing with, as mentioned, we'll be going into the liquid penetrant testing methods. Thank you.